guys? Welcome back to Calico Shard. I'm sorry it's been like over a year since I've uploaded a video. What the fuck was that? Anyway, sorry, that was my cat being fucking weird. Anyway, so what I wanted to do today, in celebration of like probably just releasing No Trespassing, my band Phillouette's first album. It was released October 31st, but I remixed and remastered it because the freaking production was terrible and it was like way last minute. But yeah, so what happened was I remastered it throughout the time it was released to the remastered date, February 1st, 2023. And still it sounds terrible, so I don't want to release it for a third time, but just know that that's my bad for the production. It sounds way better, but the main thing is that it's way fucking quiet. So like even with full volume, it's still fucking, you're like, what am I hearing? But anyway, so what I wanted to do is just fucking go over the whole history of it and just all the shit that happened with it. So yeah, let's just go.
But those sandals are not appropriate for these weather conditions. Sorry, I have to send you home. Come into accommodated for the...
So back in the day, we used to be called Centigrade, Centiggrade. Just me and Julian jamming in the basement with drums and guitar. He on guitar and I on drums, obviously, and we never really went anywhere with that name, and then we were just like, yeah, it's kind of unoriginal, even though it kind of was. So we kind of changed it for a minute to Centigrade with no D. I'm not sure why, but I guess it was just original, so we just changed it to Centigrade. And then we changed it to Centigrade with an S, and that was kind of a cool thing. Julian made a logo with that, and that's kind of how it went for a while, and then we eventually just changed it to the now known Phillouette. Well, technically speaking, Centigrade is not the same. It was not the same thing as Phillouette. Centigrade was a different band. When Phillouette and Centigrade were two different bands. Phillouette was kind of like a side project. Me and Julian just actually ended up kind of eventually like going main with it, kind of like Chris Barnes with 6 Feet Under, even though that band is not that good. But so Centigrade was more like a kind of like an actual band and not an electronic band like Phillouette is, but we kind of we went through a number of different guitarists. We never really took off with Centigrade like we did with Phillouette, and we ended up just kind of ditching it and doing Phillouette mains like full time.
Undertaking synthetics on the floor that you're not. On top of a world and I am taking my only shot.
The idea of Phillouette came to me when I was just chilling in my basement one day, and I was just like, you know what, fucking, I'm done waiting for band members to come. I'm just too tired of waiting for band members, so I'm just gonna have me and Julian form our own thing, and that's that. So I just texted Julian and I'm like, hey, you know what? I think we should just make our own project. And he's just like, sure, man, let's do it. So we just started just making online music, and the rest is history. Well, for speaking literally, we did make some online projects, but we kind of kept them in the back pocket until then. And I made a couple music, but we weren't expecting those. We were using those we were going to use those for Centigrade, not for Phillouette, which at that point was not formed yet. So the first project we ever made was just this really stupid, like a minute and a half long song just called Dark Rust. It was just us using those loops, and we never really used it for anything, but it was just a little thing. And then I made a really dumb project called, if you guys had seen it on like Spotify for like 2 weeks, we had a song called Good Intentions on it, and it was a really shit, like boring rock song that I kind of just uploaded without really thinking about how bad the production was on it. Like, if you guys even like listen to it, it was just the drums were weird and sounding and the guitars are weird. But that project eventually morphed. We eventually like changed it so much that it's not even like the same at all. But that's now Pulse, the second part of Pongo/Pulse. But yeah. So the first song we ever made, more like I ever made, Aneurysm, the demo version. It's not on Spotify anymore just because the first off, the album version's way better, and second of all, it's on YouTube, so just don't be lazy, just go and look it up on YouTube. But so that the cover of that album, it was gonna be, or the cover of the single of Aneurysm, the demo version, was gonna be the cover for that whole album, which is just like a it's like the abandoned place. It's actually behind me. Actually, let me go show you in just a sec. So the original cover is this place behind my house. It's like kind of an abandoned area, but it's not abandoned. It's abandoned, but it's somebody owns the property, so nobody can go back there. So this is kind of your POV, except the photo is highly edited. Like right here is this like post and stuff like that. But it's by my house. My house is right here, and as you can see, it's kind of got that abandoned look that I thought was awesome for the cover. But we ended up using the cooler thing, and I'll talk about that in just a sec. So yeah, that was gonna be the cover for the longest time. That like really highly like darker edited photo of back there. But we kind of thought we could do better. I thought, in my opinion, than just that cover. But so yeah, that's why we got the new cover, which is the the mustard log, we like to call it. It's just, so I went on a camping trip with my dad, and so my dad has this really nice like Canon Mark III camera, I think is what it's called. But we used that and took some cool photos, and then I took the photo that ended up being the photo for the actual No Trespassing album cover. And I thought it was cool because we didn't really have like markers or anything, and we brought like mustard and ketchup and stuff like that for hot dogs. And I'm just like, you know what, let's use mustard and draw on this log. So I drew Phillouette on that, and then obviously the No Trespassing on the bottom left is not from that. I just put that in. But that but I just like drew on that, and then I was gonna do it. I tried to do a track list the morning after, but you couldn't really, because first off I ran out of mustard, and then I ran out of ketchup. So it was like 3 different condiments trying to write a track list down, and then it was also it was also an outdated track list, like the songs were in different order. But it was hard to read too because it was on gravel and it was just condiments. So yeah. So let's talk about the stories behind the songs off the new album. Alright, O4B. So this song for the longest time was just gonna be a 40-minute like hype track for like kind of like an intro to the album. Just like, it wasn't originally called O4B either. It was this whole title, Open for Business, but we shortened it to O4B. I don't know when, I don't really remember when, but we were just like, that kind of goes hard, that kind of sounds cooler. So we shortened it to O4B, and then we made it a full song. So originally it was just gonna be freaking just like the part after like the whole dramatic part where it's like, "Give me the money 'cause I'm open for business." It was just gonna be that part, but it was, I don't remember what the lyrics we had for it, but it was gonna be that, and it wasn't, instead of like some double kick drumming like a dun 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 dun, it was just gonna be like it was a faster version. It was like dun 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 dun, and it was not like double kick. It was just like straight 4 on the floor, like, and it was just gonna be like 40 seconds of that. And I'm pretty sure it started off with like a reverse power chord. It was like, but it was just kind of like a bland, not gonna lie, kind of like it. I kind of like the new 04B, even though it kind of starts, it kind of like for this, I don't know, for me, I feel like it was kind of like too slow, to kind of like a slower build up than I wanted it to be. I kind of wanted it to be like a dramatic build up, but not as long as it is. It's like half the song of just build up, just like you know, kind of like the ambience it starts with. But nothing you can do about it now. And personally, I'm pretty satisfied with how it turned out. And yeah. Alright, Pungo / Pulse. So this is one that 04B fades into with like kind of like a foley at the end of just like kind of like war, just like kind of like some air horns and like, or not air horns, like battle horns and like gunshots and bombs and stuff like that. But then it like fades into it, and it was like or something. I forgot how the riff goes. But it's, so what happened with that song is it was originally just gonna be Pulse, like the second part after he goes die. It kind of go. It was just gonna be that part without the die. It was just gonna be the. Oh wait, no. So what happened? It was just gonna be after the guns and shit like that. It was gonna just go straight into that part, and it was only gonna be like a 2-minute long song, because that's how long that part is. But we added in the pungo kind of like literally this last day. We kind of just threw it together. That's why it sounds kind of sloppy, especially the vocals. But I personally think it's cool just because of how progressive it is. And but it's cool because it's all these like time signature changes and stuff like that. But I personally think it's cool. But it was just thrown so last minute. It didn't get some time to really like review and redo stuff like that. That's why it's even with the remaster, it still sounds pretty terrible vocally, but it's the best I could do. And personally, it's not terrible. It's just a little bit subpar, I will say. But it was cool, and that we kind of that part where Julian's like, this story is over. It's okay. It's all gonna wash over you. I'm like, bro, it's the second song. It was originally gonna be in the same the same track, but I did that, and then he's like, oh wait, no, let's redo it in a new track. And then it was kind of funny because we kind of have like long running jokes throughout the record, just because it's music, and we're just gonna have fun with it because it's music. It's nothing too serious about it. But yeah, that's Pungo. Alright, Aneurysm, third track off this album, and also first track we ever made. But not exactly, because it's definitely reworked into hell and back. Because if you guys go and listen to the demo version on YouTube and then go listen to the album version, they're clearly different. Like Aneurysm, the demo version is like a freaking over 200 BPM long song. It's like a Ministry song with like just non-stop double kick, which I kind of regret, just because double kick at just like for 3.5 minutes gets boring after a while. And so that's why I like the loops I added for the edited version, is because it actually kind of has a cool thing. Plus the new version is like slowed down like 50 BPM, so way slower and more chuggier, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so that one's fun. And Yeah, so that one has also always been faded, had always had that like weird kind of like electric noise at the beginning, like it's kind of always had that, except at the demo version it it ends with it too, but we just thought for cooler effect we just ended it with that at the end of the album version. So that's how it went for the album, and then we just had cool effect for it, just like, and then it kind of had a cool fade into the title track, which is now up next. All right, the title track, No Trespassing. So this one is a really good one. I really enjoy it. I just really enjoy all the different emotions it's portrayed. Like, so this was another one of the very first songs we ever made when Phillouette was very first being made, and it was very different demo wise. So instead of, if you guys heard this song, it's kind of got this cool little like I wouldn't say 9-inch nails-y like synth part that happens 2 or 3, I think 2 times in the song, but it's cool because it's got like rock and then it goes into that synth part. It's cool. But what I really like about this song is just all the different like of the uniqueness it's got. Like it starts out with that really cool like reversed, or well, it was originally just going to be like a reversed, like it was originally just like a reverse loop of just like a bazaar or something going on in like Morocco, I don't know. But it wasn't that cool, but I thought it would be cool if I just added in a bunch of loops and then just reversed it. And then if you can if you listen closely, you can hear like weird like groans towards inside it, but it's like I reversed so I like down pitched like a baby crying like a lot, like probably more than 2 octaves. And then I also reversed it so it sounds like it's so cool. But I loved also the different loops, like you can hear a siren, like there's like a bells tower and a bunch of different stuff, but it's just like meant to be creepy. And then it, like you can hear the guitar building up, and then like it's a cool thing. And then and then the intro, and then the outro. So that was like kind of a thing that Julian did with like midis, and it was like it's kind of like got like these like flutes and like these like guitars, and then it kind of gets a little heavier, and then it like builds down. That was originally kind of gonna be just like a really like a kind of an upbeat sort of ending, and then he made it a little more mysterious because it fit better with the album. But I kind of like both, so yeah. Anyway, Miss Lucky.
You have 8 new voice messages.
Was it a real gift?
Alright, this one's kind of a tough one because I don't particularly enjoy this one as much as I do the other songs off the album, just because it's kind of filler. It used to be just like so actually let me just detour for a sec. So we originally had 3 interims, like intermissions for albums, and then had like acts for it. So this was the original set list, or the track list. So for once, Open for Business, or O4B was Open for Business, Pungo/Pulse was called Punked, and Acid was called The Masochist. I'll get to this kind of thing in later. And then, so this is how it went. So Open for Business, so that was like the first act. O4B, Punked, or O4B, Pungo, Pulse, Aneurysm, No Trespassing, and then Miss Lucky was like an intermission to that first part, and then 413, The Masochist, and then Golden Hour was kind of an intermission, And then Eagle Prayers Cardinal Sons and Coming Nation, blah 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 blah. That would be the third, and then this like final like epic, because Intervailing is like a 10-minute song because I love prog. That was gonna be like a 10-minute like epic ending, and then yeah, so that's how it'll be with just like kind of like acts. And then obviously it's like now like kind of like a section of the album now. So yeah. So anyway, back to Miss Lucky. So it's now it was originally just like so what happened, it was gonna be like kind of this thing where like Julian had like a bunch of like voice messages he was like recording for like a girl or something. It was a fake. It wasn't real, but it was like a bunch of voice messages, but it was just over that. And then we ended up like making it longer, and then it has that rock thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's repetitive and it doesn't really go anywhere. Not to mention it's like 2 minutes and 23 seconds long. But yeah, so that's really all it was.
Feel the energy as it's core.
Alright, Golden Hour. This one I actually do enjoy after kind of like a break, it takes a dip in quality for Miss Lucky, in my opinion. But I really like Golden Hour. It's a really cool, like more of a melodic, like a kind of a ballad. Yeah, it is a ballad. But I like it just because it's a kind of a pretty beautiful song in my opinion. And I really like it too because we have songs like freaking Pungo, which are like progressive metal, or not progressive metal, but like freaking, it's prog, or yeah, it is prog, but it's like, it's like really heavy shit. And then we have stuff like Golden Hour. So that's why I really like Us in general, just because we have like a wide range of emotions. But anyway, so Golden Hour, this one is fun just because it used to be the second interim, as you guys know, and so it used to kind of just have that like you know, the part where he's like feel the energy, like that part, and then it kind of just goes into the and then except it doesn't really keep going like the foundation for it didn't have that. It just went and then it had this like little lo-fi part, and then it had like the kind of those like vintage, like those like really like edited sounding drums. But yeah, so that was really short, and now it's like one of the longer songs on the album just because I wanted it to be longer since it was a ballad. So we had like all these like different like groove parts, and then just kind of back into that keyboardy part that I really like. But yeah, that one's really good if you just like melodic stuff, then check it out.
Chew me off as we move uphill.
Alright, Chimney Smoke. This one is a short one. It was so the Miss Lucky and Golden Hour and Chimney Smoke were all going to just be 3 interims, but we shortened it down to just Chimney Smoke, and then that after Golden Hour and Miss Lucky. So it was just kind of like a short thing before we get, I feel like if I guess, I don't know if we'll ever do this, but if we ever do like vinyl releases, it would probably be the closer to the side one, and then you flip over the record, and then it goes to freaking floor 13. But yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like a little groovy, little thingy, just kind of bopping your head to, like but yeah, it's kind of cool. It's got some, I think lyrically it's one of Julian's favorites, even though it's just got like kill me off as we move uphill. But I think it's got a cool message. I think, in his opinion, I'm not quite sure what the message is, but I think it's cool. It's a little groovy little thingy that like kind of like it's a break from like all the different emotions we portrayed in the first part, and then we'll get into the second part after this. So yeah. Alright, Floor 13, one of my personal favorites off the album. It's a really cool song. I really like the break out of your cage and tell me everything erased. So that I really liked. I like the the lyrics are really cool. Julian has some really cool lyrics he's written. And my thing is like the bow 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 booga booga bow now, and then it has got the double bass drumming. It was like bow 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 booga booga bow now. Like that part is really cool. Like I could be a king going on 10 kills. But that part is really cool. I really like just like all the emotions we portray in it. It's like a heavy metal rock. It's like a metal. It's like a metal and roll, like a rock and roll / metal song, because it's got like some of those freaking double kick and like heavy metal guitars. But it like slowly builds. Like it's like the like it starts with that bass, and it's kind of like this little ambient, and then it like goes like right into the after taking synthetics on the floor that you're not. It kind of like got that cool like little piano thing, or not like the keyboard sort of thingy. But I really like that song a lot. That one's one of my favorites off the album. So yeah.
Hi, welcome to Block. Oh no, not you again. I told you we don't have the movie that you're looking for.
All right, Acid. Okay, this one is definitely an interesting one because we kind of like just went ahead and made that thing. It was just so stupid because it was originally gonna be like the demo was just basically that, just without all the shit. It was just the instrumental track of like just like the beat and then the guitar and the drums and like that stuff. And then we're just like I just made some stupid lyrics for The Masochist. Let's make it. And then we just ended up making it the stupidest song ever. And it was really funny for us. I don't give a fuck who thinks it. It's hilarious in my opinion. It was just so stupid and just almost unlistenable how funny it is. But yeah, that one's really stupid, but also really good too in my opinion. But yeah, there's Acid. And then it used to be called it was originally just called Acid. So it's going to be called Acid Trip Series Part 1 after The Masochist, and then we just shortened it to Acid because yeah. And then yeah, so that's Acid. And yeah, I'd say that's really the only like stupid song on the album. We just kind of have some other jokes throughout the album. But yeah. All right, Eagle Prayers, another one of my favorites off the album. Eagle Prayers, Cardinal Sins. First off, just awesome fucking name, dude. Julian came up with that, and it was fucking awesome. I love that name for this album. But it's also really cool. I love how I love how it's like synthy and stuff like that, because it's got that like beat. But I also love the just like kind of, it's got those guitars, like it's like how's the guitar go? It's like it's kind of got like the cool like rock, but with synth, kind of like, I don't know who it's to describe it with, but it's got that cool like little rock / guitar and like / synth sort of thing. So I like it. And I love the lyrics to it too. It's like it's got some like cool like religion. I think it's religion based. I don't know. Julian just writes these down and records them, and I'm just like, cool. But yeah, I like the part where it's like the grass isn't always greener. Like that. That's a cool lyric to me. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. But yeah, I really like the really, really, really experimental elements in it. It's like the like he just like sang that. He sang "You Were the Problem," and then just down pitched it a hell of a lot and made that an intro. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's cool. But yes, I love that one. And yeah. All right, common denomination accommodating for the massive crack gap. We kind of just like took off with that name. Like he just thought of it. I'm just like, cause this song was a dramatic. We kind of just had the dramatic like the strings in the piano intro. It was like so dramatic, and we're just like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this song. It's like so weird. But and then we kind of just had this sort of a demo, and then he just like, let's check out this name I made, common denomination accommodating for the massive crack gap. And I'm just like, okay, let's use that for the dramatic song. He's like, bet. All right. And then so that was kind of hard. Like we weren't sure if we could use that because we just kind of had no good ideas for it. And then I kind of just like got in the mood to make music, so I kind of just like added stuff in and added more stuff, and then I just kept adding more things, and it kind of just got longer. And I'm just like, I hear it and I'm just like, that was cool. I just liked how many different instruments or how many different like songs it had. And then it was just, or not songs, it just kind of how many like different moods it blended into. Like it starts with like the dramatic, then it goes into rock with that double bass kick, and then it kind of goes into like a trap hip hop parts, and then it goes into the dun 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 dun, because we use the 04B riff 2 times for the 04B and for this one, but it's like and then it kind of goes into that, and then it goes into the lo-fi / just chill out beat, like the acting like you're more my speed. So that part was cool, and then it goes back into the and then it goes like into that fucking cool one. I forgot how it goes, but it goes into that rock part. I love it, and it's fucking cool. I just love how it's like kind of sets the tone, because it's 6 minutes and 15 seconds long, so it kind of just sets the tone for Intervening Part 1, which is next. Alright, the beastly finale, Intervening Part 1. So I was always hoping to be able to put on a long song for an album, so I just kept making shit, and then I remember we just kept adding shit to it and then making more sections, and then it ended up, we were just like, oh, when it reached 7 minutes, because I feel like 7 minutes is the marker when it becomes an epic song. Like 6 minutes 59 seconds, like, I guess, but like once it's 7 minutes, you're like, okay, you're in prog territory now. So that's like, okay, that's cool. So we made it, and then we just made it 10 minutes, and then once it was like 9 minutes, I'm like, okay, let's make like a cool melodic ending. So that was like me and you. Like I wasn't exactly doing it to anyone's perspective. I was just like making like a thing, because it was like, if you guys, this is a funny story, because we kind of just got like shit done like October 30th, like the literal last day that we were gonna release it the next day. So we kind of just did that, and it was funny because we were like, all right, we're just gonna write lyrics. I'm gonna write lyrics to this one, and then you sing them, and then yeah, we'll release it tomorrow. And then that's kind of what we did. And then that was kind of the problem with the mixing, is because we kind of just had one day to mix it all, and it sounded like shit. So yeah. But anyway, back to Intervening. So this one's fun. I really like all the different sections I added. Like the first section is one of the first songs I ever wrote, The Spiral, which if you guys don't know, we have song sections. I'm gonna kind of include that in the Intervening Part 1 like video on YouTube, because we have sections for it. And the first section is called The Spiral, and The Spiral is the first song not the first song but one of the first Phillouette songs I ever made, because you can hear that and kind of like just how like straightforward rock it is, but it's cool. I like it. And then the second part with my spoken word, where it's like, in a society like ours, I don't know, it's kind of too dramatic for me. I don't know why I made that, but it was just like, It was going to be originally the same speed, but we kind of just slowed it down. Like, it's like, instead of just, so we kind of slowed it down for that part, and then we kind of had that, we kept that same tempo for the rest of the song. But yeah, it's got some cool sections. I really like that one. I like how it closes the album. Oh yeah, and also if you've heard it all the way through, you know that. So open 04B starts with that, and then it kind of like starts the song, and then intervening part 1 ends with that same thing. So it's like, and then the album ends. So I thought that was a really cool thing, because I was influenced by Dream Theater's Octavarium with that, because obviously for one, it's a 10-minute long song, so I love prog. But I like how that album opens up with a note, with a single like, dun, and then the title track Octavarium ends with dun, after like a while, and then except it has like effects and stuff with it, like wah, 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 wah. So it kind of has that with it too. But I thought that was a really cool thing, and I wanted to use that for No Trespassing too. So yeah, that's all the songs I've talked about on No Trespassing.